Before I let you go, Mike, I want to spend our final few minutes on Stafford here because, I really want to pick your brain here. Albert Breer in hour 2 mentioned that his reporting is that Les Snead and the Rams told Stafford and his representatives that they have a right, go ahead and talk to other teams and find out what your value is. He said that they were given that permission during Super Bowl week. So it's been a couple weeks now. And you know what the combine's like. Everybody runs into each other at the Starbucks, right? Or, hey, look at you here in this restaurant where I had no idea you were here. That's the way this stuff works here. So what do you make of the Rams giving permission to maybe find a partner or to keep Stafford so he knows what his value is and they come up with a better number? And why would another team even give a number knowing that the Rams might just take that number and keep Stafford? Well, what's your opinion of all this, Mike?
I think it's a fascinating conversation. And ultimately, I don't think a divorce makes any sense for either party. I think the Boston College word that I remember that defines that is symbiotic. Both sides need the other party to continue to live. From the Rams side, they've got a really good young roster. They competed against the Eagles in the playoffs, took them deep. Why would you not want to compete with Matthew Stafford for the next 2 or 3 years? Because in addition to chasing another Super Bowl, which I think they can, and you and I both know Les Snead and think an awful lot about him. Mm-hmm. Les has really drafted well since they traded for Matthew and haven't had any first-round picks till last year. I mean, Les has done a great job. They're going to get better and better over the next couple of years. So from a Rams perspective, not only do you compete for the next 2 or 3 years, but you get an opportunity to figure out who's next at quarterback. Take a couple swings at that. Get somebody in the building to groom. And from Stafford's perspective, why would you want to leave except for money? You've got one of the best play callers in the league in Sean McVay. They draft well. They've got $45 million of cap space available. They can take care of him and a couple of free agents. Where do you want to go? You want to go to Pittsburgh? I don't think Pittsburgh's roster is better. I think the Rams have a better roster. Do you want to go to the Giants and try and be a savior? I think that's a 2, 3, 4 year proposition there. I mean, do you want to end your career on a bad team? And the same thing with Vegas. They've got Pete Carroll. They got $100 million in cap. I think they're going to get better in Vegas, but do you want to be part of a rebuild in either situation? So I kind of look at this, Rich, and I go, okay, I put my general manager's cap on and go, what's the fair market deal to make both parties happy for a 37-year-old quarterback? And if you kind of look at it, he's not a top 7 or 8 quarterback anymore. He might be number 10, he might be number 12, whatever, but he's 37 years. Look at last year. Kirk Cousins was 37 years old. Derek Carr was 34. Aaron Rodgers, 41. Geno Smith, 35. None of them had a good year, either through injury or poor play. So why do you want to go out and pay a 37-year-old guy top dollar? I like what he did last year. I think there's some gas in the tank, but there's got to be a happy place for both parties. And maybe what it is, Rich, because he's out of guaranteed money. Then he's got 2 years left on his contract. He's below market, and he's out of guaranteed money except for $4 million that's coming in the door next month. So maybe you're guaranteeing 2 years of contract money and bumping him some kind of bonus that then you can diffuse over the next 2 or 3 years. And it only affects your cap a couple million, $3 million. So to me, with the GM cap on, I don't want to let him out the door. And I think I want to make him happy and give him a fair market deal. But his side has to be aware he's a 37-year-old quarterback. And let's understand what that's looked like, except for Tom Brady over the last several years in the NFL.
Well, then in the minute I have left, keep your GM cap on, not for being Les Snead, but for the one that Stafford's agent reaches out to. I mean, and you would love to have him. But you also know you give him a number, you're just maybe potentially helping out the Rams and him come together, right? Or do you look at it, say you never know? How do you handle the visit from a Stafford representative if you're that GM, Mike?
Never up, never in. I mean, if there's an opportunity to look at this deal and I'm the Giants, I'm looking at it. I've got cap money available. I've got draft. I'm not giving up the third pick. But the Aaron Rodgers trade 2 years ago was for a 39-year-old quarterback. Effectively, it was 2 second-round picks. Okay. And there was a swap of ones and a swap later on that went the other way in the 5th and 6th round. But effectively, it was 2 second-round picks. So if I'm the Giants and I'm going, would I give up 2 second-round picks to get a 37-year-old Matthew Stafford? I might, especially Rich, and this is a real thing, especially if the GM and the head coach are feeling some pressure to win now.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.